Check, check. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining on time, being prepared. Appreciate it as always. Yep, Spine QQQ. We shall also start with that for sure. We'll give a couple minutes, let people roll on as usual, especially the new members. Give them a second to figure out the Zoom link stuff. But glad you guys are here. I'm excited to be here. All-time high is tricky to talk about, but we'll just play the chart. But hopefully, you guys got some other names you want to go over. Roberto Apple, yep. First one, brother. I'll write that down so I don't forget it. Anybody else has requests? I'm trying to start with one or two. If you guys got a few, it's okay to type in a few, but I just do one at a time so we make sure everybody gets a request, and almost everybody. But with that, yeah, we'll give a couple more minutes. I'll send one more server ping. We'll get started. Appreciate you guys. All right, guys, one quick server ping and we will get started. Oops, wrong spot. All right, y'all, welcome in, especially those new members. All the regulars, we love you too, but new members. If you guys see anybody this week, that's new or needs some help, all you regulars, you guys need to help them best we can. My disclaimer, it shouldn't be obvious, but we're all on the same team, you guys. So work to help each other out, because if they're new and totally new, don't know anything about options, you were there at one time as well. So be polite if they ask something that seems silly or stupid or obvious. Help them out, because you guys were there at one time or another. So one quick thing for new members, because I focus on education, that's just how I've always been. Let's see if I can just stop screwing this up here. Yeah. So new members, this is our Discord channel here. Under education, under beginner guides, if you guys want some homework, click on this PDF, download this PDF. And it kind of just gives you a rundown of some things to look for. We don't expect you to read it and understand every single thing on the first night, but it'll just give you some help on some stuff that just kind of helping your journey on options trading. Because like I said, if you're starting from zero, it's a lot. So again, under education or beginner guides, download this and it'll just kind of help you just a little bit to kind of figure out the terms we use, why we use them, what they mean, because there's a lot of abbreviations and stuff that we do. So with that, you guys, I'm going to do SPY and QQQ kind of quickly tonight, just because it's all-time highs again. It's not like I can give you upside levels other than Fibonacci extensions. It's more just some back testing. We're, I wouldn't say gapping down, we're selling down. And the future is just a little bit, nothing to be super alarmed of. But as of now, Apple, Oracle, Uber, SoFi, NVIDIA, Meta, and Archer will start us after SPY and QQQ. We're going to start at that, but you guys, just some things to look for here. I'm going to go the daily really quick, just to kind of show you guys kind of what I'm watching. Let me zoom in for you. So these squiggly lines, the red and the purple on the outside, they're called Bollinger Bands, and they kind of just show expansion and contraction of the markets. And right now, we are pushing and have been pushing up against that upper band there. So for me, obviously, I could have said, hey, be careful back here last Sunday. I probably did, or somewhere back here last Sunday. And what did we do? We just pushed up 5 days, 4 or 5 days again. But as you can see, we are riding on that upper trend, or that upper B band, as they say up here. So just be caution, because you can see we push up against it, we trace a little bit, we sell into them. On the lower band, we usually bounce. And so kind of just danger zone this week. We're just like pushing. Yeah, we can keep going more. Obviously we have, and we did. It was proven last week after week, in fact. But just, if there's a pullback this week, don't freak out. If we're selling the rips, if, the bounces keep failing, we keep selling down, ride that wave, ride that momentum. Don't be afraid, freak out and trade for, why are we selling? Well, it's, it's a pullback. It's a healthy pullback. And that's fine. Obviously, we didn't really even get much that last week. A little bit of a dip, but ultimately each day they bought back up, excuse me. And then Friday, just a really nice rip. Obviously, the 4th of July pump, whatever you want to call it. And we did, not at the high day, we ended up in the upper range. So just something to watch there. But for now, just for class purposes, I'm going to turn these bands off because they do make things a little bit messy. Again, I'm going to be short and sweet on SPY and QQQ, guys. It's either what I like to do is look for swing highs and lows. So for me, a swing high, I know this is in the after hour session, but this is a swing high. This is a swing low. These are swing lows down here, a low dip right here, and a swing high. And so all I'm really looking for this week, you guys, especially new traders, I'm just looking for a back test of those really to get into a play. If you don't catch a breakout like this, all you can really do is ride the EMAs or wait for a back test. And so I'm looking for just stuff like this, like a back test of Friday's open, a back test is somewhere down in here, this little cluster here, where we kind of pushed up into it on Tuesday, took a little dip, sold under it Wednesday in the pre-market session, bought back through it, and then made that resistance our new support. And so I'm just kind of looking for things like that on SPY and QQQ this week, because again, we keep making all-time highs. This is literally uncharted territory, for better or worse of a term. We just never been up here before. Like, we hit 626 the first time on Friday. So what's past that? I don't know. 627, 28, 29, your round numbers. And then after that, or even before that, it's basically just riding your EMAs, riding your moving averages, stuff like that. As long as the trend is up, I just don't short it because you think it's up too much. You need to short where it makes sense. Do we break a support? Do we break, something like this? This is a good short opportunity. If we, let me get my drawings back up. If this gap down holds and any pushes up pre-market or in the regular trading session, if we fail this zone here, this is a good spot to get your puts, with a stop maybe over 625. So like I say, your risk is small, your potential reward, not saying we're getting all the way down here. This is your reward zone. This is your risk zone up here. And so you need to short the push up. When I say short, for the new members, that's where we get into puts. You need to get puts where it makes sense. Again, not because you think something is up too much, but if we push up here, we start double topping. That makes sense for an entry because we're failing. What was support is now resistance on the way up. So that's kind of the one only spot I'm looking early tomorrow. If we push up into that 626, I'll take my short there if we start double topping or, opening ranges set on the day and we're failing that zone there. But for me, any opens over that, let me clear that real quick. Any breakouts over that holds, I'm playing a retest for, price action like this right here. So a break over, a retest, that candle body wicks perfectly right there, and we push up for more. So if that happens here, I'll stay bullish on the day, looking for that, looking for a final target, double top on the day on SPY. But again, it's tricky up here, you guys. I'm going to go to QQQ now. It's just tricky. Again, sound like a broken record. It's all-time highs every single day. Same thing on QQQ. Basically, on this cluster here with the stop out over 556, I will stop trying to short it. Quick charting here. I'm just looking for I look for little clusters of candles here where that volume builds and then a breakout. We can see the volume building here, or what would be volume. I don't have it on my chart. A break over, retest, and a push up. So again, for me, really want puts or would take puts on a push up at 55575. Don't think we fill a gap before market open? Absolutely. Good question. We definitely, I think you're talking about this gap, or I assume you are. Yeah, we definitely can fill this before market open. But I'm just saying, my game plan, if we kind of trickle into here and market opens right here, we push into it, we're filling the gap, okay, gap is filled, and now we fill this level, that's where I'd say take puts. Or, we kind of trickle into here, we fail to break out over this opening session candle, fail to break over, we can take our puts down into here as well. But I'm just kind of giving you guys options. We are day traders. We should not be, emotionally married to, one side or the other. If it's up and the trend is going up and you like playing QQQ, keep writing it. So, just a spot to watch here. I would set some alerts here. Any break over and a hold. So a breakout over and a hold. Ride that wave again for the double top zone on QQQ. I know I'm being kind of quick with it, but again, all-time highs, and we do have some nice requests in the chat for some names. So I definitely want to get onto that. So for sure. All right, you guys, Apple, I'm glad it was requested. It's in a very nice spot, a spot to watch. So some things on Apple, you guys. Let me zoom out just a little bit to kind of show you guys where we're at, what I'm looking for. Maybe it's the 4 hours looking at before here. So yeah, some things to look for in Apple. I need to get a couple more lines in here for you guys, so give me 1 second. I'm on the 4 hour chart, you guys. It's kind of the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Kind of just depends on what it is. And again, you guys new to the classes, new to charting. I'm looking for wicks, multiple wick stop out zones for rejections on the way down. And do they line up with like candle bodies, to kind of give me, where do I want to start drawing some support levels here. And again, it'll be kind of quicker than normal. But again, swing highs, rejections, swing highs, rejections, swing highs, rejections, and the bottom side, your swing lows where they bounce, they bounced here. This big red zone, that big 200 to 204 zone, they finally broke over. So this is kind of what I'm watching here. Who requested this? Roberto. Good to have you in here, man. That's kind of what I'm watching here. So how I like to trade you guys. You guys have been in my lectures or my charting style, my tab. Breakout retests, breakout retests. So Roberto, what I'm seeing right away right here, not saying be bearish on it, just saying be cautious on longs, because if we look back here to late April, early May, we got drawings back up. We're pushing into this zone here, 213. We'll just call it 213 to 214, a nice $1 range here. We push up to it. We see pushes up. So on a smaller time frame, 5 minute, 15 minute, probably, you could play that breakout and get paid. But ultimately, I'm still in the 4 hour here. Breakouts are failing. Breakouts are failing. Breakouts are failing. Breakouts are failing. Failing. Again, just Thursday alone, breakouts are failing. Okay, but all hope is not lost for the buyers, because where'd we close at? I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit here. 30-minute chart. How do we play this? All right. So again, you can see clear as day where we're rejecting at on Apple. Again, the ticker is Apple. So for me, this is easy, or at least how I like to trade. Roberto, any holds of this 213 here, brother? Play the bounces, but with caution. So again, play your bounces, and I'll say to everyone, not just him. Don't look for 216 as your target up here. That's silly. Your target in here, if you catch this bounce here, so right now we're holding this zone here. Let's say price action trickles in, market opens, we bounce this zone here at 213. Okay, what is your target? You have a nice $1 range right in here to play off of. Again, you're not looking for up here, you're not looking for the breakout, because just Friday alone, that breakout pushed and it failed. So catch your dip buy first and foremost at 213 support. It's support here because resistance we break over is now flip support. So again, you buy your calls off 213, you have a nice $1 range. You can set some targets on these candle body clusters here. And for me, a final target would be 214. Maybe on the way up, if the markets look super strong, leave a runner. If we get that breakout over 214, that's fine. But like I say, week after week, don't catch this $1 move here, brother, and not sell at 214. We reject back down. You're up, 60, 80%. Now you're up 30%. Now you're up 20. Now you're back to break even. That's really, really bad trading. It's just being greedy. So what I say week after week, whatever the percent gain is, you play the chart. Chart says you sell up here at 214, because when we break under 214, look at that selling pressure. Okay. Option number 2, break under 213. This is a very easy low risk short. So for puts, we sell under 213. What happens when we're under 213? Just look to Wednesday's price action. They make it very easy for us, because we don't have to go back a week or a year or a month or whatever it is. This is just 2 trading days ago. When we sell under 213, failed to break over, what do we get? Selling pressure, selling pressure. So that's your plan number 2. We sell under this zone here. Maybe it's pre-market. We push up, rejection. I'm just using double tops because they're super easy to trade. So we sell under 213 on Apple. Boom. Get your puts, because your risk is small. You're not holding puts all the way up here. Your risk is somewhere up here for a stop out, and boom. Hypothetical targets, you want to see price action like this on the way down on Apple. So very nice chart. I'm glad that got requested, because very tradable setup, you guys. I hope these requests tonight. I know a lot of these names are not all-time highs. So that's really, really nice. Aaron, good question. A little bit high in the chat. I'm just seeing it because it's hard to keep up. So how do I trade it? So you draw. So just by default, Aaron, you go to add drawing, and you go to, I don't know what it's labeled, but 1, 2, 3, 4 down is your little shaded area. I just kind of do this for myself, and I do this for you guys also to kind of visualize resistance. For me, resistance is red and green is support. So by default, you can't have both. So by default, I just have it red. So it draws red. Double click in here, change your color to green. If you want transparency, click on more. I clicked it somewhere around 80, 70, 80. I just randomly click, and boom, you got your support zone. So a support zone could be something like this. Like you grab this little cluster here, something like that. You're like, okay, if we sell down into here, it just helps me visualize and not get emotional. Like, okay, I'm seeing a down candle, I'm in calls, my okay, I already have a trade plan visually. I see, okay, I'm red 15% on calls, but I'm in my shaded area that I drew, my pre-market plan. I'm okay. And then it bounces, boom, game on. You buy the dip off this level here, just hypothetically. That's how you do it. All right, going in order again. Oracle. Dog, what are you barking on? Might have to let him in the room real quick if he barks. Sorry about that, guys. Oracle, let's zoom out because I don't play this name a whole lot. Let me see where we're at on the chart. Who wanted this one? TJ Maxx. Love the name. TJ. Are you in this or want to be in it? Or just want some perspective? Because I think, unless I'm wrong, this is probably all-time highs, which not super fun to trade, but you requested it, so we'll go with it. Want to get in. All right. You want to be bullish or bearish? Quit barking, dog. Get in here. Got a class to teach. Bear. All right. Cool. I can dig that. So weekly candle ended at all-time highs. Let's figure out a plan. So my plan will be probably simple. That I'll tell you. It's going to be similar to SPY and QQQ. It's going to be short the most recent high or a swing high. So what is that? So back to our kind of shaded area here. TJ, so anything up here and any swing low under this zone here. And I'll kind of show you both on what I want to do. So as we come down, this would be green for support, but since you said bearish, I'll kind of show you the game plan of what I would do. So any push up here. So again, this candle is going to open here. Let's just first plan of attack. Let's just assume we kind of just trickle in here. We don't really push up or down from basically 236.45. So any push up, and again, your easiest shorts, you guys, are double tops. So a double top is a rejection of the previous day high. A double top can be a high that we revisited a week later, or it can be intraday. So we can push up here, we can reject down, and we can get your double top in here, which would kind of be like a triple or quadruple top, whatever you want to call it. So TJ, any push into here and rejection of all-time high, like no easier time or spot to think about, mentally or psychologically, where do I get my puts? Well, if we reject the ultimate all-time high of this stock, we start rejecting in here, get your puts. So basically this top zone here, if you want to take a screenshot or mark some levels, I don't know what it'd be, probably 237.5 probably, or upper range 238. Yeah, 238. 1K, read the chart, dummy. So 238's rejection, easy short there, because when we see reject this level, we want to see price action like that. Option number two is if we open here under this cluster here, so kind of this cluster here, we start rejecting that. So we open under that, get your puts on that. But again, if we bounce this zone and we're pushing into here, this is kind of no man's land to just take puts, because if you take puts, to me, I have to say, okay, I bought in the middle. I have to hold up to here to see if we reject, because I'm not going to buy in the middle, see 10% red, freak out, and then reject up here, and we come back down to break even, and now you're in profit. So you got to know your zones and get in when and where it makes sense. So if you get in the middle of this zone, it's kind of no man's land for me. So we got to break under or reject this zone here. And the last option, again, swing highs and lows. So here's your swing high, here's your swing low, we bounce. So any opens under this zone here, this is even better, because this is probably a big volume cluster here on this breakout. So any opens under this 235, that's an easy short as well. So if you miss, you got a work meeting or whatever, we sell through 236, coming down to 235, and let's just say we're super bearish tomorrow in the markets. Break that, easy short there, because what do? We hit that 235 for the first time on Friday. Obviously, we broke over it later, but hard rejection down. So that's what I do when I take puts or calls. I look for, obvious rejection spots, and I look for, okay, how can I find a spot where it's going to repeatable action move? That's this. Short 235, we want to see this price action here, sell down, because when we come down here, you have all this price action here for your targets. You trim, and you get out here on this bounce zone here. and then you get your calls back here. Again, we're day traders, trade it back and forth. Hopefully that helps you. Uber, I like trading that name, haven't done it in a while. Who had that? Stone, let's hit it. I think big breakout day. It's trying, there's bullish flow to 100, people want it. Are you in this, Stone, or just looking for some perspective? So some obvious top range stuff here I'm seeing just for speed of class. I'm just going to grab this here and move it. Not saying we can't be bullish. I think we should try and buy dips, not buy the top, because we're in obvious top range here. On the daily chart here, we can see multiple candle bodies closing under or rejecting at and around this 93 to 94 zone here. So buying the dips are still working, but upper range here, when we hit into this 94 here, Stone, if you're still in here, you're not in here. We're skipping this one, not to be rude, but gotta be here. SoFi, Jonathan, are you in here? Man, you guys making requests, leaving. Jonathan, skipping you. Quan, you're in here. NVIDIA, thanks for sticking around. Guys can't make requests and then dip out of here. NVIDIA, it's all right. Maybe you guys had a phone call. Maybe you're helping kids. It's all right, not being mean. All right, NVIDIA, let's back up. Check some charts here. NVIDIA, is that all-time high? Shit, I think so too. All right, we'll work with it. We'll figure something out. All right. Quan, are you, I think I'm saying your name correctly. Sorry if I'm not. Are you in this or want to be in it? Let me know so I can kind of tell you, hey, buy the dips here or short the rips here. Want to be in it. Cool. Let's get a game plan for you. Back testing. So I like this. Let's see. Ish. Yeah, Ish, we can hit Tesla. We have not went over it, but I'll put on the list. So this is NVIDIA. This is the 30-minute chart, back testing some levels. This is what we want, you guys. So this makes it easy to, where do we buy the dip? Where do we short, big pushes? So right now we're back testing late 2 weeks ago levels. So not last Friday, a couple days ago, but 2 Fridays ago, back into this level here. So I think I'll just do some support lines for you guys here. So immediately what I'm seeing here, push up here, if you guys are following along here, Wednesday. So that, basically high of day Wednesday, pushing up. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. So Friday, high of day, retrace, push up, retrace, push up, retrace, push up, after hours, dip, dip, dip. You guys get the point. Finally break over. Does it make sense? Yeah, it's absolutely makes sense. Look at that. I drew one line here in this upper range here. Basically 150, 157, 57. If you guys want to mark on your chart, get some more levels in here. What do we have here in this breakout? Yep, right there. All right, so my plan of action, if I were to play NVIDIA, I'm not in it, but my plan of action, buy all dips at 157.57. Why would you want to buy the dip there? It may look ugly. I don't have red candles. I know my down candles are white, but that bounce there. Why did that bounce there? Resistance is flipped to support. Okay. Support. You see when we break over what happens. You see when we break over what happens. Big push follow through. When we break over what happens, big follow through. Okay. So how would I play this? Going to scroll to the right here. For me, a little bit of range here, that's all right. So if we open here, take your calls, but you don't have much room. You got about basically a 50-cent move up to basically 159. Why 159? The bottom side of that wick right there is going to be resistance. We may blast through it, yeah, but I don't hold calls when we push up to, I'm going to zoom in even more for you guys. I know a lot of you guys trade on your phones here. Ignore those lines, maybe not, yeah. So I push up there, there's going to be resistance on the way up. So again, first touch, I expect to see a little bit of smack down there, a little bit of sell orders, triggering. We might dip, we may blast it. So basically what you can do, breakout, retest. Again, this is just a day trade perspective, breakout, retest to 159. Why do I want to do that? Well, we see when we hold 159, what do? We bounce 25 cents there. That's going to pay you nice. What happens when we get over 159? 160, 161. Okay. Option two, we are day traders. If this candle holds here, so we kind of trickle in here, like I always say, we open here. We're kind of in between two zones. So if we reject this midday, not, Friday's low is down here on the session, but this midday low, this wick here, 155.58, it coincides pretty nice where we're at now. So if we sell through that with caution, you can take your puts down into here and look to buy a dip. Or if you miss the sell down, try and buy your dip there. But even better, I like this 157.57. But very nice range to play in, you guys. Again, you guys want to play NVIDIA. 3 really nice levels here to mark down or take a screenshot. 155.57, 158 to 158.14, and then basically 159. Very, very nice spot there. But again, any break over, I don't want to be shorting this name until we kind of get to these rejection zones up here. Any sell under, don't be late on puts when we come into support. But if we break this 157.57 this week, you can see what happens when we get under that. Pretty big selling pressure. So that's your safest shot on puts, because it's just more confirmation of a structure break. This upper range structure up here. When we break down under that, we see what happens. Hard selling pressure. Look at this from 2 Fridays ago. We break that 157.5, sell pressure. So very nice request. Crash, good to have you in here, man. PayPal, get on the list. Got a few more heavier, but let's see. All right, I've got to scroll in the chat. Shannon, you're up. Meta looks like a double top on the daily. Let's check it. On the daily, a little bit of retracement here. Let's see if we can find your double. Yeah, definitely. I would call this like an upper range double top, for sure, just to be, I guess, not correct you, but so, push up to the range here, swing high, they push up to the range here. So a swing high, retracement, swing high, in the middle of retracement right now. So yeah, double top zone for sure. I can dig that. I can agree with that for sure. So, not a tricky spot, but not a spot where you just want to be blindly bearish. I just want to show you a couple things here. What I'm looking at, again, going to stick to my zones and ranges for the time being. Get a couple lines in here for you too. Where we bounce, why we're bouncing again, you guys. I grab bottom side wick here on Friday because it coincides with 626, that candle body open and push up. Definitely makes sense. And look at that cluster there, basically 714. That cluster here from early February, consolidation breakout move. We bounced it. Does it make sense why we bounced it? Damn right it does. So some things to watch here. You mentioned bearish. That's all right. We can definitely get bearish on it, but we need to do it when and where it makes sense. So clear as day here. Some things to watch, you guys. The guys like to trade meta. Any trading in bounces around 714, I do not want to be in puts. Again, didn't quite get here, but you can see we get back over 714. You can see the continued fall through. Again, you guys, swing highs and swing lows. That's my bread and butter. When and where we bounce stuff, what happens? I look for those big reaction zones there when I get into calls, because it's obvious if we fail a swing low, that I'm taking calls off of. Again, my stop is not way down here. Something stupid. My stop is small, somewhere over here. Again, buying the bounce on this hypothetically, that's what you want to do. So my game plan, a couple things I'm seeing here, I haven't talked about yet tonight. These stair-stepping lines. This purple is the daily 9 moving average. This green, for you guys that are in here in my classes, is the 20. So some things to watch. The 20 is underneath us. The 9 is overhead. And where did we reject on Friday once we sold under it? Yeah, we got over it, but where do we ultimately reject and sell down? The daily 9 moving averages. You guys always have to have your moving averages on your chart and never ignore them, because you're like, oh shit, why'd we reject 720, 719 to 720 zone? Well, it's a moving average right there. Big zone there. So how I would trade this, Shannon. Yep, this is how I trade this. Keep losing my drawings here. So any push up to the basically 719 to 720 pocket. If we start seeing price action like this, so this top section of these candles here, price action like this, what do we see? When those fail to break out over, sell down, sell down, sell down. Okay. If we start seeing topside wicks here, double top action, opening ranges set, all that good stuff, start rejecting daily 9, get your puts under basically 719. Can short that for sure. But again, target 1 should not be down here 714. There's lots to play in here on these levels here. Make this large as possible. Again, you guys, I grab candle bodies, I grab clusters, so we get our entry here. Again, you're not looking for a first target here. So we sell under this cluster here. Look for these candles where they're starting and closing. You look left, does it make sense? Yeah, this cluster here, this bounce zone here. So this could be target 1. We sell through here. Does that make sense why they ultimately sold down and bounced that? Yeah. Cluster here. Cluster here. Look at that bounce. Big bounce here, big bounce here. Again, you guys look for, your pivot points, whatever you want to call it, your swing positions, your swing highs and lows, and find obvious spots. Like if you see this move down here and you don't know that there's support here from just 2 days ago, hypothetically on Friday, and it's like, oh, puts, we're going to 214. Well, we might, but guess what? You grab puts here after watching this huge move, you get bounced and you get wrecked. So any rejections is 719, or if we trickle down into here, again, you can get your puts, but with caution here, that 715.5 probably, that's the big bounce zone the last, 2 days last week. Any sells under that? Yeah, we'll tag 714 for sure. But again, don't be blind. Set some alerts. 714 hits. You should not be in puts. Bounces all day long. But we get under that, heavy selling pressure is going to kick in. But we don't need to worry about 714 breaking until it breaks. You don't plan on taking target or profit down here until that breaks. All right. Norvin, good to see you in here, man. Yeah, I see. Let me see. Hold on, brother. Trying to go in order. Let me pull up. Let me see what you DM'd me, man. Yeah, let me jump on shop for you, brother. Are you still in here? Yep. All right. Let's look at shop, and then we got Archer next. Ooh, shop. Top range, maybe. Let's see what we got here on shop. Let me zoom out just a little bit. 4 hour daily. Where are we on the daily? That's the easiest. So again, you guys, again, that are new to charting, I start on the daily, especially if it's something I don't know, and I work my way down to a smaller time frame. So you build your game plan on the daily here. Obvious Friday, where did it reject? That makes sense. At 117.3, you're damn right. Because June 11th, same rejection spot. January 28th, that's where we closed. It makes sense. Top range here, brother, Norvin. But we can buy the dips as well because dips are still getting bought. So, yep. Let me get some levels here for you, man. Grab those wicks. Damn it. Oh, thinker swim. Why you do that to me? I'm in drawing mode. One of these days I'll figure out this brokerage. Why is that doing that? Why? Let's try this. Drawing mode. There we go. Trying to grab. There we go. All right. Here's how I do this, brother. Tricky spot, but if you want to day trade this, we can definitely day trade this because it's kind of what I'm watching here. So clear and obvious again, 117 to 117.5, obvious top range here. What happens when we get up here? Kind of a trouble zone here. We kind of fail breakouts. We push, we retrace, but we hold, pushed up, and now we're kind of sitting here. So you didn't say if you want to be bullish or bearish, I don't think, or let me see, but a setup here, brother, any break over this last week's range. So I haven't really talked about it. So a break of a last week high, which would be this, is a bullish signal. So a breakout retest. You can play that, Norvin. So basically over Friday's high, double top. get your calls. Or where else do I say get calls? You kind of just have to buy the dip. I really only feel comfortable buying the dip down here, just kind of how I trade, man. 114.7 is kind of my spot here, because we can see again those swing pivot reactions when we get to it and around it. Because if you take calls here, we sell through it, it's an obvious stop out. We sell through, it's an obvious stop out. We bounce it, it's an obvious bounce. So tricky spot here. I mean, I can definitely get a couple more lines in for you here. You can buy the bounce kind of in this range here off 115.64, because we can kind of see again this cluster here, this swing high here, the swing move here. So if we were to sell into that and you were to bounce that, that's an okay risk play. But again, your target's not up here, your target's here, all these wicks in here. Definitely a tradable setup for sure. Yeah, that 115. But if we sell through this, brother, we're probably gonna see some selling pressure, especially on the market. If we sell through that, either sit it out on calls or just hammer it right there at 114.7. I like that spot. But we sell through that 115.6, we can see that reaction follow through. So again, you guys, I don't try and make stuff up. I just look for, hey, we break this, what is the market going to do? We break over, where's the market going to go? That's what I do and try and do for each set for you guys. So hope that helps. ACHR. Who was that? Gotta scroll the chat because this Zoom sucks. Errol, you're up. Archer. I think I used to have shares on this thing. Let's see. Are you in this, Errol? Shares, options, what's the story? Let me know. If you're still here in the chat, I'll give you a couple more minutes to respond. Definitely see a nice cluster here where I do not want to be short. Or if you want to buy shares, I definitely see some opportunity right there for sure. You're in shares. Let me know your average. You don't have to say how many. Just let me know, kind of help you get a game plan. Are you wanting to trim or average down? Or I guess it'll depend on where your position is. But let me know, that way I can kind of help you on, hey, if you're in shares and you're in red, I'd probably cut here. Or if you're in profit, I'd be kind of selling here. But again, I don't need to know if you're in 1 or 1,000. You don't need to reveal your position size, but kind of just helps me out on kind of what I tell you on here, because definitely nice range here. I'm on the daily here, nice cluster here. 823, love it. Let's get your line in here. Beautiful. All right. So one last question. Sorry, I know it's probably a pain in the ass to type. Are you looking for a share flip or just kind of, where to sell, when to sell? I mean, because you're up 23% right now. If you're in down here on earnings, that was up a lot, 68%. But let me know if you're wanting to flip this or what your goal is, because yeah, you're up 19%. Want to sell or buy more? Well, for me, if it's a very long-term hold, you can set it on an auto buy and just keep buying, the first of the month. But for me, I mean, you got a killer average, man. You're up, like I said, 19, 20%, 23% ish. So for me, if you're in a large position or a position, let me back up. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. So shares, how I trade shares. If this is NVIDIA, this is Apple, this is Arch, or whatever it is, if I'm going to buy $1,000 in shares, not 1,000 shares, but $1,000 in shares, let's just say this is my first buy in here at 823. I start, a 30% position size. So I buy hypothetically $333 worth. So I bought at 823. I'm now up 20, whatever percent I said. So I'm not going to average in more because I got this nice average bottom tick down here, hypothetically, or wherever you bought in. I'm going to let that position just ride. And if you want to share flip it, that's fine. If you want to let it ride, that's fine. But for me, I only add, this is just how I trade. Everybody's different. River, Tilio could be different. I'm only adding on red days, dollar cost averaging. So for me, I'm definitely not going to let 23% go red. So it's one of those things that how I trade, it's hard to make money in this market. I would just let that ride. I know it's not a full position size for you. It may not be what you want to hear, but you can add up here, but then your dollar cost average is now higher. So you bought in at 1025. You had your average, let's just say 825. So now basically your average is 925. So you're still green, but now your dollar cost average is somewhere here. So for me, I only add on red days, averaging down when and where it makes sense. I would just let that ride. We have a nice support holding. Hopefully this is the answer you wanted, but we have a very nice support holding here. This basically 9.8 zone here. So as long as that holds, you can let your position ride. Again, I'm not going to say let 20-something% go back to break even, but we get back out into here, load up again, double up, because we know this cluster here, not just averaging in on a random spot. We know that bounce zone. We get over it. Obviously, that was earnings down here, but we see when that holds a big zone there. Option number 2, let the position ride, but you got some things working against you. Clear and obvious 1057 zone. We get under that one, reject pretty hard. And now you have 2 moving averages. Purple line here is the 9 and green is the 20. Those are now stacked overhead. So it doesn't matter if it's the daily chart, intraday chart, whatever it is. Those are going to be pesky on the way up. So a little bit of consolidation here. Let's say we push up and move. This is going to give you fits on the way up here, pushing up. But again, you're up 20-something%. You're going to be up a lot more and up a lot more. So for me, I would personally, let that position ride, or if you want to free up some money, 1057 is a good sell spot. Or again, if we start breaking these levels here, dollar cost average in, when and where it makes sense. But for me, if I'm up on shares, I let it ride. I pat myself on the back as I caught the bottom or potential bottom, short-term bottom that is, and I let that money ride. I reward myself. I sell out and I just keep flipping shares over and over and over. Because another thing you can do, we break this upper range here, 1136. You could sell out and reposition that money. Sell out, take that profit, reposition some money. But for me, yeah, I just don't like to add when I'm up on it. That's kind of like not the same thing, but similar. If I'm up 50% on Apple calls, I'm not going to buy more. I'm going to let that trade ride. So that's just kind of how my mindset works. Hope that helps you out. All right, scrolling the chat again, trying to get caught back up. Let's see here. Apple did that. Aaron, you still in here? Got to be present to win. Aaron's not in here. Bummer. Guys got to stick out for the full hour. Let me make sure there's no, let's see, JT, you're in here. IWM, let's hit it. And then if we got time, I see coin. Oh, and then Tesla. Ish, if you're still in here, I didn't forget about you. Those are my next 3. All right. I already forgot. IWM. Yep. Love this name. Don't trade a whole lot. Let's see where it's at. Ooh, big 217. Somebody was in this and DM'd me. I can't remember. How many weeks ago was that? Someone took a short here. Man, I hope they sold that. They messaged me, is 217 okay to take a short? I said, yes. And they're down here and they said, do I swing? And I said, trim. Because if we gap up, you're going to be hurting. And they gapped up. Hopefully they sold. All right. Let's check out. We got a lot in between 227 and 217. Let's get a line here going. JT, are you in this? Want to be in it? Let me know. I get some lines here for you. Zoom left. See if this makes sense. How far left are going to go? Not too far. Come on. Got to go a little more. So if I'm going to screw up my charting. All right. You want to be in? All right, cool. 217. All right, so we are down here. 1 second, guys. Let me adjust the chart. All right, so as of now, 223. So we're kind of in this cluster here. Where am I at? I am back October 21st of last year. So we're kind of pushing this cluster here, you guys. So let's take a look at kind of what happens when we get up here. Not saying be bearish or bullish, just be more mindful of where we are. So when we sell through back in October, we kind of sold through this 223 zone, 223.3. We sold through another support. We kind of trickle around here, consolidation. We push back up. What happens? A little bit of consolidation, smack down. What happens? We push up, smack down, fight it back up. What was this? Was this election night pumped? What was this here? Damn it, get out of drawing. Get out of drawing mode. There we go. Yep, this election night pump here. So we cleared this 223.3 zone. So again, focus on the zone here. I'm going to do this just to kind of show you how beautiful charting is. So I'm back in October. We're going to draw this. We're going to extend it. And we're going to see if this makes sense. November 25. Cool. And now we're going to go to present day. Quick zoom all the way. So where do we reject? Where do we stall out? Does it make sense? Yep. So here's what I would watch on this chart here. Didn't have any bias, so that's okay. Let's just roll with it. So get my drawings back here. To be bullish with caution, I'm using air quotes so you guys cannot see, a break and hold at 222.5. So with caution, because this range here is a little spooky. We can have some fake outs both ways, meaning you can see clearly top side wick, bottom side wick, on an hourly candle, and how it closed. Basically, nobody won when the candle closed. Yeah, if you bottom ticked, you won. If you top ticked puts, you won. But basically, where that candle closed. So let me get a little bit smaller time frame even. So 30-minute here, and it'll probably reveal that as well. Yep, look at that. Look at that. So with caution, a breakout retest. Why do we play the breakout retest at 222.5? Well, we break over. I know this is a long retrace, but a break over. What happens when we hold there? That candle body pushes up, close there, and a continuation up to our top range. So again, with caution, take your calls. But again, you're not looking for this wick here, something silly. You're basically looking for a double top Friday high a day. It's the easiest target zone of your life. So breakout retest, ride calls with caution. You may have lots of fake outs like this on the way up, 30-minute chart here. So don't be scared to trim at 223 flat if you get it. Play the breakout. You missed this move, you're in a meeting, whatever, or say, we're opening here now. Let's just kind of say we gap up into this. You have a work meeting. Breakout retest of Friday's high is option number 2. So basically 223.3, because that's the upper range. Remember, we talked about that in October. Break it over, ride your calls. Puts. We open here. You guys know what I'm going to say. We trickle in, pre-market, push up, fail, markets open, fail, easy puts. Why do we get puts here? Because support is now resistance. Or we open here. You're scared to take your calls. I would be too, because there's resistance overhead. We start double topping, opening range, get your puts. Again, your stop out on puts is not up here. You don't want to ride, an entire dollar moving against you. My stop out would be somewhere on the bottom side of these candles here for puts. So you take your puts here, meaning you enter here, and you got to be able to stomach a little bit of red, meaning if we push up here a little bit, you can't see 12% red and freak out and cut, and we sell back down, you're break even, now you're up 20%. You're like, shit, why I sell it, freaked out. You full ported, you're heavy, whatever it is, don't do that. Look at these bottom side wicks there. If we push up here and we start rejecting these wicks from Friday, there's no reason to cut. You're never going to enter a trade. Rarely you're going to enter a trade and see instant green and you get paid right away. That rarely happens. You got to be able to stomach a little bit of red. Option 2 on puts, we see this cluster here. If we kind of trickle in here, we sell through it. So we sell through here. We sell through Friday's open. So Friday's high, Friday's low, Friday's high and close. Sell through that. Take your puts down into here. Very, very tradable setup, you guys. I love retracing recent levels here. Very nice chart. Nice request. Appreciate that. All right. I need to not forget this. What did I say? Tesla, then coin, I think I said, right? Who wanted Tesla? Man, the Zoom chat sucks. Ish, you're still in here. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate it. Tesla. All right. Ah, shit. I was hoping we open here at 313 because it's the easiest setup to get long and short. Damn it, we're gapping down. Probably because Elon Musk, his political statements, whether you love it or hate it, I'm just stating a fact. Criticizing the administration, so they're probably shorting that. That's why. Dang it. All right, new game plan, because the game plan was buy all bounces at 313, buy all bounces on the daily 200 moving average. But we broke that. Dang it. All right. New game plan. That's all right. We'll do this on the fly. Again, my range here. Ish, are you in this or just kind of want some perspective how to play it? I'll pay attention to the chat because I think you're still here. Yeah, no shit, Tesla. Oh, you wanted PayPal too. I'll get PayPal on for you. Crash. Appreciate it. Yeah, so 300. What do we know about round, sexy, psychological numbers? 100, 200, 300, 250, 350, all that. All right. Not being blindly bearish, but got to take your shot on shorts when it makes sense. This cluster here, pay attention to that. If we push up into here and we fail this zone, you keep trying to take calls here, we failing, pushing down, failing, pushing down. That is your spot to take your puts. A break over 300 zone here, get out of your puts because they're probably going to break out, retest, and push hard and gap fill this zone here. Okay, so any push up to this 300, we're rejecting, where we're rejecting, why we're rejecting, this zone here, all that volume cluster there stacked. Take your shot. Where do we sell? Look at your wicks here. Look at these wicks here. Look at this zone here. To be bullish, excuse me. Yeah, break and retest over 300, or I know there's a lot here between $8 here, but we got to play the bounces. We got to play the bounce when and where it makes sense. Why is this not working? What's going on here? There we go. See if we got some 300 levels reaction here. I'm just zooming left, guys. Yep. We sell through that 300. Yep. All right. Can we buy the dip anywhere that makes sense before 291? I'd say my only shot, because Tesla's so volatile, 295.2, you guys. So I drew this cluster here from June 6th. So that candle close there, nice reaction off that. Breakout there, nice reaction off that. Let's zoom back to present day. Did they bounce that zone? Yeah, they sold through it, but big buyback. So lo and behold, what do you know? They may open us at that zone. So with caution, you guys, if 295 to 295 holds, play that bounce. Quick quiz, where do we sell? You trim all the way up. Where are you out of your calls at? 300. Can it go more and I can be wrong? Yeah. But you don't want to catch this $5 move, see 300 reject, and you're back down to break even. That's just stupid trading. Sell them all. You get your 298 calls. You sell them all at 300. Break and retest at 300. What do? You roll back in. You get your 302s, your 304s, and you ride that wave up. Any rejections at 295? We're probably going to dip down here to that 291. And again, 291 is not a spot I want to be short, or not a spot I want to start my put position either. Crash, let's hit PayPal. I know we've been talking about that one, brother. PYPL. Got that breakout. Rejected that 200. Obvious 200 rejection. So my mindset, brother, is retest. We talk a lot in DMs. I think we trade and think a lot alike. Retesting some levels here. For me, I'm looking at this cluster here, this obvious cluster from Friday and Thursday. So any half-ass pushes or breakouts or failed breakouts over, I'm short here at basically 76.6. It's easy. Why do we get short there? We break under. We see price action like that. We break under. I know it was pretty much at close. Rejections. Break over. What do we see? Nice reaction, but obviously the daily 200. So for me, best hope, slap it at 76, but with caution, not full porting. Because we bounce 76, what happens there? Bounce that. Let me clear some drawings here. We bounce that 76. Nice continuation. So again, you guys, it's tough to see a down candle and go, okay, why do we get calls for new traders? Well, you want to buy calls on sell. You know, do you want to buy a TV at $200 or a Black Friday at 150? So if your TV is 200 bucks here, 150, where you want to buy that TV at? 150 bucks. Stupid analogy, but you get my point. You buy on the sell. You buy PayPal calls on sale. Get that bounce there. But a quick zoom out. I think I got this green line for you and somebody else, something I was watching here. So yeah, big zone retest. So 75.53, we can zoom left till the end of time. When we break over that level there, we see that big continuation up, that green line there, bounce that zone, but we sell through that, sell continuation multi-day. So again, reject that 200, clears day on the daily 200. Again, don't ignore your moving averages, you guys. They matter. So back to this. Yeah, you know what? I like this. Alerts are going on. Alerts are going on because I trade this a lot. Alerts are going on top side. Break over. Wait, these need to be. Oops. At or. Don't want that. Oh wait. Nope, I'm failing here. The hell with it. It needs to be breaking under is what I wanted, but I can't do it right now on the fly. There we go. At or below. At or below. Cool. Yeah, great setup, man. You guys that want to play retracements and stuff that's not all-time highs, PayPal's a nice one. PayPal pays so nice, you guys. It moves really, really nice. Definitely tradable chart. You guys see my entries. Short it, play the bounces. Very, very nice. Do I watch Ethereum? Nope. That is a question for Grizzlies. He is our master. He's our sensei for sure. Oh, Aaron, I skipped you. Sorry about that. Let me scroll back. What did you have in here? Sorry, or throw in the chat real quick. I'm scrolling up. Sorry, brother. Looking. Didn't mean to skip you on purpose. What was it? Shit. Oh, plug. All right, cool. Bullish in shares. I'll get you. We'll get you some looking here. Let's see. What's your average, Aaron? If you don't mind. Again, just so I can say, hey, if you're red, you should be selling here. If you're green, you're in at $1. Oh, baby. Love that, you guys. Love that. Boom. Look at that. All right. You want to get out of this for a flip, or is this like a long-term hold, or what? Let me know. Man, this name's going to get ass kicked. If you didn't buy at $1, what are you doing? I mean, those of you who didn't. Beaten down, getting its butt whooped. No denying that. Short term, it's put in some, not sure, but up nice. Damn right, you're up nice. First and foremost, daily 200. If you don't have that on your charts, brother, get that daily 200 slapped on your charts, because if we grind up, it moves very, very slow. And one of these days, there's going to be a big rejection and go, why the hell to reject there? Especially, man, look at this. Look at this. If this is, that's just why I like charting. Sometimes it's just so nice. Look at that. If we slow grind this up, let me zoom in real quick. You want to know where to sell? Basically, at 1 point, 1.6, 1.65. This cluster here, man, line up with the daily 200. Like, there's not a more obvious spot, because this is a 200-day moving average, so it moves slow as a snail. This is our 9, so ride that wave like I teach you guys. Ride that EMA or moving average up. Excuse me. You got 2 stacked underneath you. Ride the trend. Kind of double toppy range here, but you're up nice. definitely send alert up here. If you make this move up to like, what was this, 116, basically 163, you don't want to be the last one out, like they say, like musical chairs, to quote Lambos. You don't want to be the last one out of this party. So if we trickle up here and we start seeing rejections here at like 163, and then we get a candle like this, you're back, shit, why didn't I sell? You don't want that. So what I would do here, you're up very, very nice, obviously. So I would do, if it's a share flip and you want to free up some money, right here's my stop. All right, so bounced here, 1.38, big reaction, obviously on earnings, sold through it, fully engulfed it, March 28th. Pushed up, but no failed, or excuse me, no confirmed holds on the daily. Okay, sold down, sold on. What do we get just last week? Big engulfing candle all the way through it. What do we do? What do I say every single week? Breakout, retest, breakout, retest, breakdown, retest. So what do we do? Breakout, retest, back-to-back days. So this is my stop out for me, brother, because you're up so nice. The worst thing you can do is just let this go back to one. I know it doesn't sound like you want to do that. So two options here. Figure out, well, we can do that. So super easy here. Is that probably like 30, 40%? Yeah, 38%. Stupid. 1 to 1.38. That's the easiest math of your life, 1K. All right, you're up. My stop would be basically give it some wiggle room, 35%. So what is that saying? What am I telling you to do? You're willing to see a couple wicks down here, but buybacks, you ride that wave. But any sell through, basically this is going to stop you out here. So you're up 38%. If we hold this and move up, I would just turn on probably like a 10 or 20% trailing stop. So we break and hold over 1.5, your trailing stop kicks up. We move up again, your trailing stop is now here. We're up here, you sell that shit, pat yourself on the back for, a 63, 65% share flip on these shares, and you look to get back in on a retest new entry of some levels down here. But any sell under this, sell through here, what happens when we break under that, brother? You see that continuation down. You don't want to be sitting on like 50% gains, and now you're at 20%. 20% is nice, but it's not as sexy as 50, man. So for me, really, really good chart, man. Nice trade. 30, 35% would be a hard stop for me, or the number on the chart, basically 1.34, 1.35. Daily close, since it shares, that's tough. I would say yes to be safe if you can't monitor the markets and babysit the markets. First and foremost, if you're day trading, you can watch the markets. Just literally send alert here. Let's just say it triggers tomorrow. Like, okay, we're down here at kind of my stop zone. Let me see the price action. If I start seeing buybacks up, big buybacks, we're bouncing the daily 9. I would hold. I'm not going to cut probably, because it shares on like a 5-minute sell down, because if we buy it back up, we see a big wick like this, you might be kicking yourself in the butt. But yeah, kind of tough to tell you what to do when you're sitting at 50% green already. All right, Amazon trickled in, and then I got ended. If you guys got a jet out of here, that's fine. I appreciate you guys sticking around. It's 6:10 my time. Shout out to the newbies in here, the new faces, and the regulars, you guys, before you guys have to leave. Appreciate you guys put in the work. You guys sign up for membership. You're in here, basically day one of your membership doing it. Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Amazon, got to go over this one because it's so important. Big picture here, I think we talked about last week. Look at that 224, guys. Going to color it red because it's an obvious potential, again, rejection zone here. Look at that zone there. So clear this out real quick. So look back in history. When we get back under 224, we see that selling pressure kick in. Over 224, sellers give up, big moves up over. Under it, selling pressure, okay? Present day, what happened pretty much every day last week? A little bit happened in the pre-market. I guess just one day pre-market, not every day. I stand corrected. So for me, who was it? Raheem. I think I'm saying your name correctly. Raheem. You can buy dips. I'm seeing a pivot swing right here, an obvious one here. Quick charting, but basically 221.57. So we see this wick here from 2 Fridays ago, and we see the sell through over it. We see the attempted buyback, sell through, rejection on Wednesday. And then what do we do Friday? Breakout, retest, sellers gave up. Break, I know it happened in the opening candle, but we came back, we retested it, and we bounced again. What happened? Buyers brought it back up, bought it back up, and sellers gave up. So here's the game plan on Amazon. Let me scroll through here, see if I can't screw it up. Any holds this level, should have cleared that, sorry. Any holds here, first and foremost, buy the dip because you're looking for this candle body combination right here. Bottom side wicks, big buyers stepping in, continuation up. So first and foremost, buy that dip. Again, we catch the whole move up. Yep, good question. What would my stop be? Again, let me finish my train of thought real quick. So you catch this whole move up, you trim, brother, you trim, you get all the way out at 224. Take your short, take your puts there if that happens there. If you catch that whole move up, pat yourself on the back. Okay. My stop out. Great question. Because I know that shows me you want to learn and listen. Let me see if and where it lines up. All right, I'll give you two options here. So I'm just drawing a red zone so you can visualize it. So again, you guys, you're taking your calls here for a bounce. Where's your stop? So a tight stop, a tighter stop, which could fake you out. But for me, if I enter here, Raheem, I got to sit through this wick here. So if we need to go to a smaller time frame even, let's just go to the 15 because we're day traders, right? So need to redraw that here. So I'm on the 15-minute here, brother. So if I enter here, I don't know what percent this is going to be, but I have to sit through that. Meaning if I sell down through here, I cannot, get emotional and freak out and stop out here, which is, what is that? That's the exact spot we bounced on Friday. So you guys have to have a game plan set aside. You guys cannot enter calls here and think money all the way up. To me, I enter a trade, and when I make money, I'm like, okay, cool. I made money. My trade plan worked. For me, when I enter a trade, I'll go, what am I willing to lose on this and why? So when I enter here, I have to sit through basically, let me just get a line for you here, just so we're not, making shit up. Basically 221.35, take a screenshot, mark it on your chart, whatever you want to do. That zone there combined with kind of this red zone here, because we sell through, let's look, what happens when we sell through 221.35? Is it obvious? Yeah, it's obvious. That's why we stop out. So you got to be able to still make a little bit of red. He asked, where's my stop? Kind of in this zone here. If you want to risk a little bit more, basically this candle close here would be my hard stop. I got to be out. Again, not the 1 minute chart. For me, it's probably like a 15-minute close under, unless we knife. Like if you buy here and we get news on like tariff news, we just kill candle down, it's a stop out. I'm not going to say, okay, do we buy it back up? Maybe it gets bought back up, but I got it, if it's a kill candle. But if we're kind of just half-fast sells here, we kind of bounce this here, you got to hold. Now we're break even. Now trade plan is the same, but we're day traders. We sell through this, get your puts, break down, retest, get your puts, sell down, make your money, trim all the way down here, down to that 220. Get out of your puts down here if we make it all the way down there. Hope that answered your question. If not, Raheem, DMs are always open. Send me a DM, say, hey, I'm looking at this chart. For anybody else that's listening too, say, hey, I'm looking at PayPal, or hey, I'm looking at AMD. I want to enter calls here. This is my stop out. Do you think it's a good stop? I'd say yep. Or I'd say, hey, look at this level here. Consider this being a stop out. But with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Really, really great questions, you guys. You guys are putting in the work. Like I said, I'm not just sucking up to you guys. You guys are in these lectures week after week are the ones that are going to succeed. And everybody else that's failing, unfortunately, they're not putting in the time, but that's on them. But you guys are putting the work here. I appreciate it. Let's see where we open at. Hopefully don't gap down too far or gap up too far. We kind of open kind of where we're at. And we'll take it from there. But with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.